Hi, yeah, today's Earth Day conference, it was a real, real moment for the organisation to bring together cross-sectoral communities. So there was people representing the environment, also farmers and older people and women, sports people and politicians to talk all in one room talking about what needs to happen. We were all on side. We really support the need for climate action and climate change policies. It was very clear that we need them to be fair and to be accessible, affordable, and put humans at the centre to make sure that the change makes people's lives better and doesn't add to inequalities. So we're coming up to 3 big elections in Ireland, and it's a real moment for us to communicate to those in power and to talk among ourselves about what needs to happen around climate change, how our policies need to be undertaken in a faster way, but really what we heard strongly today is that they need to be fair.
That we need to see significant state intervention in delivering a just transition, in delivering the sort of fast and fair climate policies that will bring about that transformational change.
And environment has to be threaded through every single portfolio. You need to be thinking about it when you're doing your economic policy, when you're doing your housing policy, when you're doing your health policy. Rather than looking at environment as one problem, we need to look at the economic system and the political system and say, okay, how can we make things better for the majority of people and not just a small minority?
I think we will, in order to have the radical change that we need to have, we need to break the power of those who are responsible. The oil companies knew about this in the 1970s. The world's leaders know about this. Everyone knows about this. It's not about knowledge, it's about power. Power is in the hands of a very, very small number of major corporations. Globally, fossil fuel industry, we're very, very central to the capitalist system. I think, we have to take them out of power if we're going to have the kind of change that we need. And in my opinion, that does mean system change. We build the powers of those movements to actually be able to deliver the system change that I think we need.
But our existing climate policy approach is not equality-proofed, as we like to call it. It's not poverty-proof and it's not gender-proof.
Because I'm the sector who's the most polluter, I'm dairy and beef. To give a rundown of my journey to a more sustainable way of dairy farming. I'm trying to deliver a better product and a more sustainable product, and the only focus that I've ever been taught or focused on is production. That's one of the things. But there's environmental and social.
We have an extractive system that's killing us. And what we're doing now is we're spinning in circles with kind of retrofitting climate action onto a really broken system, which is what Dawn was talking about. Rather than questioning what agency exists within each of our communities to do it for ourselves.
Or the kind of society that existed when I was a teenager, where, boys from disadvantaged areas were sent off to reform schools, where young women who got pregnant were sent to immaculate laundries, where books were banned, gay men were criminalized. I mean, that was an incredibly powerful set of institutions that I had to grow up in. But I know that we were able to change that. We were able to create movements and groups that actually fought and eliminated many of those oppressive aspects of society. So I feel like, people of my age, I was born in 1952, that we have seen incredible change. So we know that incredible change is possible.
We have to dramatically and radically decarbonise, and our energy system has to be central in that.
Be obliged to highly endorse and emphasise Liam's point on a people-powered revolution and Justin's point on political leadership. There's a real need for the public to understand that this energy transformation is not simply a technical exercise to facilitate economic development. It's about all of us, and this goes back to maybe Donald's point on the sense of connection in the last panel, Vanessa's point around that we make changes that are focused on fundamentally improving quality of life, and also Sean's point around the need for emphasis on a community cooperative approach. That's what the energy transformation fundamentally needs to be.
I think that was particularly moving for me hearing Donald Sheehan from Cork. I think that it was really good for the audience to be able to hear something like that real on the ground experience of a farmer who's actually really interested in biodiversity and has put his money where his mouth is and has gone out and tried to do things to inspire and help and support other farmers to improve biodiversity. And to see him in tears on the stage, I think, hearing more of farmers' lived experience is good, and trying to build links between the environmental movement and farmers and try and align ourselves with farmers. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway for Friends of the Earth and for the climate movement is that we have to listen to the people and to listen to how people feel about climate action. Yes, we know it's an emergency, we need to take action, and we are, but we need to do so in a way that makes sure that everyone comes with us and that we leave no one behind.
The doorstep challenge that we are laying before you as Friends of the Earth now, these politicians are going to come to your doorsteps in the next few weeks and months, and we need to use that chance. I know, like, if you have the dinner's on, the dog's barking, the kids are doing their homework, and the politician comes to the door, we have to grasp that moment. We have leaflets you can give them, but we must put it up to them to champion faster and fairer climate action.